Hello and welcome to the Daily Mill for Monday the 17th of May 2021. Today's Millwall news, we have another player linked with a transfer to Millwall, and it's a Portsmouth player, and it's this guy, Jack Whatmough. Well, I don't know how to pronounce it. I'm going to say Whatmough. Whatmough! Portsmouth, this is from portsmouth.co.uk, and it's the news in Portsmouth. And it says Portsmouth make Jack Whatmough out of contract priority amid rumoured Millwall and Bristol City interest. Jack Whatmough has emerged as Pompey's out of contract priority. Danny Cowley has made the defender his major focus when it comes to retaining the men set to become free agents this summer, and the Blues are hopeful they can convince their longest serving player to remain at Fratton Park moving forward. Whatmough has been touted for a move to Championship after an impressive campaign with the likes of Millwall and Bristol City among those rumoured to be interested. Bear with me, this is a bit of a buggy site. The 24-year-old has put question marks over his fitness to bed after long-term knee issues, getting 38 appearances under his belt. Cowley believes Whatmough can become a cornerstone of his side's promotion bid next term and is determined to keep the Gosport lad at his hometown club. Pompey also remain in talks over new contracts for yeah, that's not really about Millwall, so I'm going to skip that. I'm going to skip this as well. Yep, so, and there you go. And there's something that's popped up in League One. I've spoken about it before a couple of times. About this here, apparently it's been going through. So they wanted to put in a wage cap, and the PFA got that thrown out. But there is going to be squad limits in League One and League Two next season, and it's 22 outfield players over the age of 21, which kind of doesn't make any sense because the age restricted youth games are under 23, so I don't know why they're under 21. But that's what. So 22 outfield players. It says the Blues are likely to be given expanded options as a result. Discussions over implementation of squad restrictions in the EFL moving forward. The limitations on first team playing setup will remain in place, despite the controversial salary cap voted in last year being scrapped in February. But there will be some leeway applied from the existing framework in place, which would have seen third and fourth tier sides limited to just 20 players next season. Can you imagine that? 20 players for a season? With the injuries, if we were in that league, it would be brutal for us with the amount of injuries we've had this year. If we had them and we were only limited to 20 players, that would be awful. So bear with me, this site is so fucking buggy with ads and shit. The revised plans are now set to see that the threshold raises 22 players, with that number not including goalkeepers or players under the age of 21. There appears to be a general acceptance from clubs in League One and League Two to operate under those conditions, paving the way for new rules to be formalised ahead of the 21-22 campaign. So there you go. So it could see Portsmouth might have to be letting a few players go because they can't keep them. They can't keep them all. And maybe a big team like Portsmouth, Sunderland, they can't keep all their best players. Maybe even the teams that got relegated this season, like Sheffield Wednesday. So that might be a thing to look out for. But I don't think Rowett is looking in League One. So for some reason I think he'll rather sign some bum from a Championship squad than a really good League One player. I just get the feeling that he's like snobby about signing players from lower divisions, because he wants if you want a Championship team, you gotta have Championship players. Well, how do you get a Championship player? You buy him from another Championship team, because technically they are a Championship player and they're at a Championship team. They've been playing in the Championship. Maybe they haven't been pulling up trees, but they've been doing okay. because they're at a championship team. So there you go. I assume that's the kind of thinking. That's why we've been getting Malone, Woods, Bennett, that type of thing, and not really looking at League One players. So let's move on now to the Loanwatch, because this past weekend the conference teams were playing and Millwall players were involved, the ones that are on loan to conference teams. And this is from news@den.co.uk. It says Millwall Loanwatch striking its 15th of the season as Sutton United's 4 points from historic promotion. That is right, a Millwall striker has scored 15 goals this season in professional football, not in under 23 football, in professional football. Sutton United are 4 points away from a first ever promotion to the Football League, as Isaac Alofi was on the score sheet again in a 3-0 win at Maidenhead United on Saturday. Lions forward Alofi scored his 15th goal of the season in all competitions to put the South London side 2-0 ahead in the 79th minute after David Ajiboye's 65-minute goal. Lewis John scored from his own half in the 93rd minute to put Sutton 4 points ahead of Torquay at the top of the table. The goals then dropped 2 vital points on Sunday as they drew 2-2 away at Stockport County. Sutton have 2 games left, at home to third place Hartlepool next Saturday, and then at bottom of the table Barnet the following weekend, and a 3 point as well as +6 better goal difference advantage over Torquay. Torquay are the only side that can deny Sutton automatic promotion. They host Barnet on Saturday before going to Altrincham on the final weekend. Also in National League, Alex Mitchell recovered from injury to play the full game for Bromley, but the visitors couldn't overtake Notts County and climb into the playoffs as the side drew 2-2. An own goal from Mark Ellis had Bromley in front in the 27th minute before Carl Watton and Ruben Rodriguez scored 2 goals in 9 minutes in the second half to put the hosts in the driving seat. Tate Campbell's level in the 75th minute rescued a point for Andy Woodman's side. Bromley are 8th, level on points with Chesterfield or in the last playoff spot, but have a +7 better goal difference with 2 games left. The 3 teams behind Bromley, Halifax, Eastleigh and Dagenham and Redbridge, can also still reach the playoffs. Bromley's last 2 games are at Aldershot and at home against Notts County, and you fans are back now. You can go to that game if you wish and if tickets are available. And Fisher are playing on Saturday as well. Home game in Assault Road if you're interested in that. Midfielder Sam Skeffington got 90 more minutes of senior action under his belt in Barnet's 3-0 defeat at Eastleigh, who have 2 games in hand on Halifax, Bromley and Chesterfield, and trail the latter by 4 points. In the Scottish Premiership, James Brown played right wing back as Callum Davidson St Johnstone ended their league season by securing a UEFA Conference League place, whatever that is, by finishing 5th after their 0-0 draw at home to Livingston. The UEFA Conference League will start next season and is the 3rd tier of European football after the Champions League and the Europa League. The Saints and Livy went into the game level on points, but the hosts had a +2 better goal difference and they comfortably claimed the draw they needed. St Johnstone will go into the playoffs for the Europa League if they complete the domestic cup double by beating the Hibernian at Hampden Park next weekend. It was an unbelievable achievement today, former Millwall assistant Davidson said. Putting into perspective the week we've had training games, the semi-final carrying very few players, it's probably been overshadowed by the Scottish Cup and what's gone on here behind the scenes in the last couple of weeks here. For me it's huge. I remember when we qualified with Tommy Wright. It was a great atmosphere here with 10,000 people. Hopefully we can get back to something like that. So there you go, the roundup of the loan players, Millwall players out on loan, how they did. And Isaac Alofi scoring 15 goals in a season. I think he should come back next season, and he should be given the first half of the season in the Millwall squad to see what he can do. He can't be any worse than Bradshaw or Bodvarsson. Just give him a chance, let him try, and if it doesn't work out, loan him out in January to maybe a League 2 team, probably Sutton if they want him back, or a League 1 team. But I would like to see him given a proper go next season in the Millwall squad. Let's move on now to this. This is also from News at Den. Some more words from Gary Rowett. Millwall boss on parachute payments as Bournemouth aim to join Norwich and Watford in bouncing straight back to the Premier League. Millwall manager Gary Rowett wants to see a fairer filtering down of parachute payments as the three clubs that got relegated last season from the Premier League could all bounce straight back up. Champions Norwich and Watford are already promoted and Bournemouth will join them if they win the playoffs. It would be the first time since the start of the Premier League in 92-93 that has happened. So that is interesting. That's the first time that could happen since the Premier League started. That all the three teams that went down went straight back up the following season. I think we have had it the other way around, where the three teams that went up into the Premier League all got relegated because it was a bit too much of a hurdle. I think that's happened, I'm pretty sure. But we could have it the other way around, where the teams that were relegated from the Premier League last season all get promoted the next season. So that could be a bit of history going on. But there have been 5 seasons when 2 clubs are relegated to the second tier been promoted in the following campaign. Fulham have been promoted twice and relegated twice in the last 4 seasons. In 21-22 they will aim for 3 promotions in 3 campaigns after dropping into the Championship. So Fulham, big massive yo-yo team there. And with that tiny ground they've got, that money they're getting from the Premier League is really sustaining them, because they're not getting much money from the ground, even though they're redeveloping it now. Clubs coming down from the top flight receive between 75 and 90 million in parachute payments over 2 or 3 years. At the other end of the Championship table, Wickham and Rotherham went straight back down as they struggled to compete after promotion. Bournemouth host Brentford tonight in their playoff semi-final first leg, with Barnsley and Swansea in the other tie. Yep, and the results were Bournemouth won 1-0 and Swansea won 1-0. I know it's probably going to end, but if you look at, this is Gary Rowett speaking here, I know it's probably going to end, but if you look at the season's wage cap in League One and then you look at the parachute payments for the teams that come down, I think for those 6 teams in question there are disadvantages and advantages. Rowett said the 3 teams that come down have a huge advantage, of course. For the 3 teams that come up from League One, there's a huge disadvantage because you can't suddenly quadruple your budget within 6 weeks, the risk that you might not be in the division for more than a season. So it seems a little bit illogical that at one end and not to get at the other end. But it's the Premier League, isn't it? We've seen it recently where money trumps all. I understand that you've got to push hard to have a competitive chance of staying in the Premier League. However, it seems unfair that you can fail for a season, get relegated and then have a massive advantage in trying to get back up. But most seasons it's not that easy. I think this season it's an anomaly that all 3 teams, if they haven't already got promoted, have a chance of being promoted back straight away. There has to be a more even filtering down of some of that parachute money, in my opinion, to give all teams in all leagues a slightly fairer and even chance. Meanwhile, Millwall confirmed last week that they had crashed through the 5,000 barrier for season tickets sold for 21-22. In a video message on social media, Rowett said, "Hi guys, we've just hit 5,000 season tickets for next season. Fabulous response from everybody. I hope to see you down at the Den soon. I think it's going to be an exciting season." Well, there you go. Gary Rowett moaning about parachute payments. I'm sure he would love some of that money so he can spunk it on Ryan Woods. And we could have a player that can't run but can pass a beautiful ball but can't run to save his life. But that's not going to happen. Deal with it. Moving on now. Last little thing. This is from millfc.co.uk. And it's about the ticket office for some reason. There has been some problems, like literally every day. They put out a thing saying, oh, the phone lines are down for the ticket office. And then they come back and say, oh, it's all fixed now. And they've done that like 3 or 4 or 5 times. So something's going on. And I hope they haven't been hacked by those bloody people who hacked that pipeline in America. Here we go. Millwall's ticket office at the Den will be closed on Thursday the 20th of May. Sales of 21-22 season tickets and memberships will be unavailable in person or by phone on the day. However, Online sales via millwalltickets.com will still be available. The ticket office will reopen again on Friday the 21st of May. So this Thursday, in 3 days time, whatever it is, the ticket office is going to be closed. So don't go down there, because you're going to be wasting your time. So that's it for today. I thank you for watching. Goodbye.